Yep. That was week 5. That was week 5 of the Champions League. It was actually yesterday, but I'm recording the video a day later on Thursday because school is kicking my ass right now. Exams are coming up, but we got to talk. We got to talk because honestly, this is my takeaway so far in the Champions League. Sure, most people are saying City are the favorites, then everyone else after them. City are the clear favorites. They're the best team in the world. They have the power of the oil rig behind them, the Middle Eastern money machine behind them. They're not that impressive. I mean, they're impressive. Don't get me wrong. I mean, they came back down against Leipzig and scored 3 goals in the second half, but sure, they're the favorites, but the gap between City and the rest isn't as big as people think. At least right now it isn't. That's my takeaway. Sure, City is the favorites, but let's not just think that they're going to repeat the Champions League because we say that a lot of times for the previous winners. Oh, they're so strong. They're going to repeat. Then something happens. Injuries happen. Bad results happen. Pep, City fans, they know themselves that one bad night in the Champions League and you're out of the competition. They know that. They have plenty of experience. Lyon, Spurs, all the other failures. Real Madrid semifinals 2 years ago. They have all the experience in that. So that's my takeaway. No one's really a favorite. So yeah, I mean, we're going to go through each group right now. I'm going to pull up the groups right now. We're going to go through each group. But, Bayern, Real Madrid, which are the teams you would put behind City as favorites. Me, even as a Bayern fan, I don't know. Like, I need to see more. I need to see more from certain teams in the Champions League for me to sit here and back them. I'm like, oh yeah, these guys are the favorites. These guys, get on the bandwagon right now. I'm not bandwagon, but get on the support. Make the predictions. Bet right now. Make a lot of money. But there's no one. There really is no one. But we're gonna go through each group right now after week 5 of the Champions League just finished. We have a good idea of who's going first, or no, we have a good idea of the two teams going through each group to the knockout stage, but we don't exactly know who's going to finish first or second yet. So we're going to go look at each group real quick right now, see what's happening, make some predictions for the last week of the Champions League. And yeah, we're going to talk about the key happenings in each group. I mean, you got Jude for Real Madrid, bro. The guy keeps scoring. He keeps scoring, and I'm kind of speechless that he keeps scoring this many goals. Just an explosion, fitting into that Real Madrid role. A young man like him, he's still a boy, guys. He's a little boy. Jude Bellingham is a little boy. He's not a man or anything. This is a little boy carrying Real Madrid. Crazy. You got Arsenal putting 6 past RC Lens. Embarrassing. RC Lens is terrible. You have the United game. We got to talk about that. So yeah, I'm gonna just pull up the groups right now, put them on the screen, and here we go. So let's just start right up top, Group A. So this is one of the groups where 100% Bayern's going top of the group. They'll probably be United away, 16 points in the bag. Fun enough, their 17-match winning streak in the Champions League ended this week against Copenhagen. Now, Bayern, I'm a Bayern fan. For anyone, if you don't understand that yet, I'm a Bayern fan. We shouldn't be relying on penalties to beat a team like Copenhagen at home, but we were denied two clear penalties. The exact same situation, which we'll get to in the PSG Newcastle game, the exact situation, Mbappe and PSG were given a penalty in the dying moments of their game against Newcastle. I smell something fishy. We'll get to that when we get to PSG's group. But for Bayern, I mean, Copenhagen, compared to the first game in Denmark when Bayern was away, much better defensive performance for Bayern. And as a Bayern fan, that's what I like to see. Sure, our attack is always going to be good when you have guys like Sane, Kane, Musiala, etc., Coman, etc. But it's the defense. And that was besides the one, like, it was a really good chance for Copenhagen. Neuer, insane. Showing why he's the goalkeeper, insane double save. I mean, oh my God, my heart sank to my stomach because I thought, oh, there goes the win. There goes our first loss in like whatever 38, 40 games in the Champions League group stages. The last time Bayern Munich lost in the Champions League group stages, guys, was in 2017. The 3-1 in like October of 2017 to PSG when Ancelotti was sacked and Jupp Heynckes was brought in. It's been a long time. It's been a very long time since they've lost in the group stage of the Champions League. But Neuer with the beautiful double save. I mean, outside of that chance, Copenhagen didn't create much, which is, I like to see that. Better defensive performance from Bayern. And yeah, they drew. Doesn't really matter. You don't need to win every single game in the group stage. We've done that last 2 years, and nothing happened of it. We get knocked out in the quarterfinal 3 years in a row. So I'm not really worried about getting maximum points in the group stage. It's not. I used to worry about it, but honestly, as long as you finish first, it doesn't matter really. Now it gets interesting because as you're looking on the screen right now, Copenhagen, Galatasaray, both on 5 points, United at 4 points. United are going to finish bottom because I'm telling you, I think it's in 2 weeks, game week 6 of the group stages. United isn't beating Bayern. I don't care that it's at Old Trafford. Bayern will go there. United will probably try to play against Bayern. And with the way Sane and Kane are performing, it's not going to end up good because that first game in the group stage back in beginning of October, end of September, Bayern is a much better team. Bayern is a much improved team since then. So really, for second place, we're looking for Copenhagen and Galatasaray here. And to be honest, if I'm being honest with you guys, both teams would give problems to a lot of the first place teams, just like they've given Bayern. Copenhagen and Galatasaray, I thought they were bum teams, but they really aren't. These guys play good football. They play with good energy. They stay focused throughout the entire match, which is the most important part for these smaller teams in the Champions League. The most important part of your game has to be staying focused and disciplined for 90 minutes to put in a good defensive shift against these bigger teams. And Copenhagen and Galatasaray have proven to do that. Now, not defensively, they leak goals. I'm looking at Galatasaray's goals against, 12 goals against. But they score. They score goals. So their attack is good. So honestly, going into the 6th game week, Bayern first, and man, I'm torn. I think Copenhagen go through. I see Copenhagen going through. I think Copenhagen is a better team than Galatasaray overall. Now, Galatasaray may have more player name, your Zahas and all that people recognize who have been at top European clubs before. But I think Copenhagen is the better team, and in Denmark, they'll get the win against Galatasaray. So, yeah. That's my prediction for week 6 of Group A. Reaction to the games this week. Let's go now to Group B. Arsenal, yeah, it's confirmed Arsenal will get first. They're at 12 points. Nothing can stop that. So Arsenal, good on them for getting back to the Champions League and topping their group. They will get a second place team in the next round. So we don't really need to touch on Arsenal too much. I just want to say, take Arsenal seriously. Arsenal, as much as I will clown Arsenal, and in the Premier League, they won't win the title because as long as Pep and City and the money they have is in the Premier League, they'll win the Premier League every year from now on. In the Champions League, it's a different story because Arsenal have a good defense. They have a decent midfield. Rice is great, but his surrounding cast, I'm still not sold on. And that attack is good, man. That attack is good. Saka, Martinelli, Odegaard shifts in from midfield into the attack. Gabriel Jesus, Trossard. These guys have the pace and power and the weapons to hurt teams in the knockout stages. So I just want to say, don't don't sleep on these guys. Really don't. Because I'm not. If Bayern draws an Arsenal in the quarterfinals, I'm taking them serious. I'm not just going to be like, oh, it's Arsenal. Last time they were in the Champions League, Bayern pumped them 10-2 on aggregate. No, you have to take Arsenal serious. Now, the problem with Arsenal is they're one or two key injuries away because they lack squad depth from completely capitulating. If a Saliba or a Gabriel gets injured, boom, it's not looking good for the center back positions for Arsenal. If Rice gets injured, your season's basically finished. Any aspirations, if Rice gets injured, your season is pretty much finished. But they haven't gotten those injuries yet. They got the injuries to Timber and those guys, but that's my take on Arsenal. And as for who will get second place in this group, I mean, just the Sevilla PSV game was interesting because Sevilla started off well, but lapse of concentration, PSV score, they go all out attack, and they win, right? Actually, let me check this out, the matches. Yeah, they win 3-2, making a comeback. So they're really in pole position because PSV plays. Oh no, I'm sorry. PSV plays Arsenal the 6th week, and Sevilla plays away to RC Lens. That's interesting. But I do feel, because that is going to be, PSV will be home. I do feel Arsenal and PSV will go through at that come the end of week 6, game week 6 of the Champions League. I do think that. Because to be honest, I don't want to see Lens in the knockout stages, and I don't think they're good enough to do that. And Sevilla will probably beat Lens. This is the messed up thing. Sevilla will probably beat Lens and go to 3rd place and go back into the Europa League and try to win the Europa League one last time. Those bums, these are Europa League merchants. It's crazy how many times these guys purposely try to get into the Europa League. This is my problem with Sevilla. You can't take these guys serious. I mean, they're not a serious football club. Their goal is always Europa League, and that's it. Seriously, it's embarrassing. But yeah, come the end of game week 6, I think Arsenal, PSV, those are your 2, 1 and 2. And yeah, let's go on to Group C. And now Group C. What can I say? Real Madrid, man. Now, they have a lot of injuries. Militao, Courtois, other injuries. But this guy, Jude, man, he keeps scoring. He keeps scoring. And what can you say about that? You can't hate. He keeps scoring. And the funny thing is, he's not just scoring. He's playing great football right now. He's commanding the pitch. He is carrying. He is the life and soul of this Real Madrid team. And to come from that brick club Dortmund and be the life and soul of Real Madrid, he still hasn't even been at the club for more than half a year, guys. What can you say? I mean, the only people that really hate on Bellingham are Barcelona fans, Pedri fans, Gavi fans. And some salty English fans because he didn't go to the bum Premier League. I mean, what a player, man. What a player. Even if Real Madrid don't go and win the Champions League, I don't think they have enough squad depth to do it. Jude Bellingham's already having a great. I mean, I think I saw no other player has scored more goals than him at the beginning of the Real Madrid career. So he's already having an all-time career in the Real Madrid shirt for Real Madrid standards. And if he keeps this up all season, bro, are we having Ballon d'Or shouts if England do well at the Euros? Are we having Ballon d'Or shouts? I don't know. That's for a conversation to be had in a year's time. 10, 11, 12 months down the line. So let's not talk about that yours. But yeah, they played Napoli. They get the win. Braga and Union, a tie. Union, I backed Union Berlin. I have a TikTok and I was backing Union Berlin to get second in this group. Look at this. 2 points after 5 games. They have really capitulated. They fired their coach. They brought a new coach in. They're second last in the Bundesliga. It's not looking good. But Union play Real Madrid in the 6th week. They'll lose to Real Madrid. 100% I could guarantee that. And Napoli versus Braga. Now, I want to see, is Napoli home or Braga? No, Napoli's home. So I think that pretty much seals it. I think Napoli get the job done at their home stadium against Braga. And yeah, you're going to have a Real Madrid Napoli 1-2. Napoli, a team, if your team is in first place and you're drawing the second place teams, I wouldn't be too afraid of Napoli. Their defense really isn't as strong. Kim Min-jae left to Bayern. Rahmani, their other center back, he hasn't been as good this season. Osimhen keeps getting injured, is on or off. Kavic is having a good season, but it's just not the same as last season. So, yeah, if you're a first place team, I wouldn't be scared of getting Napoli. I wouldn't. I really wouldn't. Let's go to Group D now. Now, this is interesting because, well, first of all, Salzburg and Sociedad and Inter are for sure going through, advancing as the 1-2 into the next round. But I'm going to keep it real. If my team gets first place, if you're a fan of a team that's going to get first place in the group, I think I'd want Inter over Real Sociedad. I genuinely think that. And the funny thing is, Sociedad and Inter play each other in the San Siro in the week 6 to determine first place. So that's the problem. I do think Inter probably beat them in the San Siro. So Inter will probably go first. And Real Sociedad second. And that would be a tricky. You guys don't sleep on Real Sociedad. These guys that play great football. Zubamendi is a guy in their midfield that I hope Bayern sign. I hope Bayern sign and put this guy next to Kimmich. We would cook with Zubamendi Kimmich double pivot. Give me that. Give me that. I deserve it. I deserve it because we missed out on Rodri. We missed out on Rodri 4 years ago. I deserve Zubamendi at Bayern. Get it done. Fabrizio, tweet it or something. Make it happen. Please. I'm desperate. But as in terms of the games, Inter coming back from a 3-0 deficit against Benfica. Benfica have been a bum team this year. Bum team. I don't know what's wrong with them. I don't watch too much Portuguese league. I haven't watched too many of their Champions League games. Just, it's not it this season for them. Maybe it's the loss of Gonzalo Ramos. They've lost some players. I don't know, but they're just not it. Salzburg you can never take Salzburg seriously in the Champions League, let's be honest. And yeah, I think Inter will beat Real Sociedad in game week 6 of the Champions League. They will go first, Real Sociedad second. On to Group E. I don't know what to say about this group, guys, because Atleti is a force to be reckoned with this season. Griezmann is probably top 3 players in the world this season, consistently always making impact. Morata isn't the finishing bum he's always been. Morata's scoring goals. They have a midfield of De Paul, Koke, Llorente, Hermoso in the back, Jimenez in the back. Those guys in the back. They have Oblak in goal. You guys, Atletico Madrid is a serious team in the Champions League. Don't let these 11 points trick you. 3 wins, 2 draws in a relatively weak group because Lazio, let's be honest, have not been good in the Champions League. Somehow they have 10 points, but their performances really haven't been good. Do not be fooled by their 10 points. But yeah, right now it's confirmed Atleti and Lazio will be the teams advancing from Group E. And let me just check the matches being played next time. Just like in Inter or Real Sociedad, you have Atletico Madrid and Lazio fighting for first spot. And to be honest, let me double check who's home. It's an Atleti's home, so I will favor Atleti in that game. I do think Atleti will go on to beat Lazio, get first, Lazio second. And that's another second place team that the first place teams don't really have to worry about. I don't take Immobile serious. I don't take Felipe Anderson and all those guys on that team serious, really. I don't. I'm going to sleep mighty fine if my lovely Bayern gets Lazio. I'm not losing any sleep over that. But for Atleti, man, let's hypothetically say they do get second place. This is a team even City, every first place team will want to avoid Atletico Madrid, except for Barcelona and Real Madrid because you can't draw a Spanish team. But if Atletico Madrid gets second, every team barring your Barcelonas and Real Madrids will want to absolutely avoid Atletico Madrid. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, if I'm a Bayern fan, I would not want that draw. These guys are a dangerous team to get in the round of 16. Dangerous. So yeah, I think Atleti, after game week 6, they will go first, Lazio second. Let's move on, and let's just not say Feyenoord, good try. I didn't think Feyenoord would do as well as they did. They did play some decent stuff, but because they did get 2 wins, but just not enough to get over the games in games like the Lazio and Atleti games. Cool, the Celtic game, but Celtic's trash. Celtic never does anything in the Champions League. I think I saw a stat where they haven't won in 15, 16, or whatever, 17 Champions League games. That's embarrassing. This is why we don't take Scottish teams serious. We don't take Scottish teams serious in the Champions League, guys. On to Group F, the group of death. Now, I'm excited to talk about this group because, you guys, I'm going to keep it honest. 100,000 stacks with you guys. I'm just really surprised. I mean, I'm kind of speechless that Dortmund is first place in this group after 5 games. I am speechless. And credit to them. As a Bayern fan, I have to give them credit. To be first place and guaranteed advance out of the group of death come game week 5. This is my reaction. It's like that emoji. You have to give them the credit. And the group gets interesting because PSG played Dortmund in the Signal Iduna in the sixth game, and Dortmund haven't lost in the Signal Iduna in 2 years in the Champions League. It's always been a fortress in the Champions League, so that's not an easy game. So if Dortmund go on to beat PSG, and either Newcastle or AC Milan win, you guys, PSG is going to the Europa League. That's embarrassing from PSG. Embarrassing. Sorry, LSG. That's embarrassing to have Mbappe. You get rid of Neymar. You get rid of Messi, the so-called problems. And you bring in Kolomuani, Gonzalo Ramos, Ugarte, Skriniar, Lucas Hernandez. Dembele. Dembele, who has no brain. He literally has no football brain. That's a lot of money spent right there. To go to Europa League, we got to clown him. But if I'm being honest with you guys, knowing Dortmund, sure, they've proven a lot of people wrong, but I do think they will lose at home to PSG. I do believe that. And I think if that will probably happen, in my opinion, and if that does happen, the result of Newcastle Milan doesn't matter. Both of those teams will not advance. It'll be up to them who goes to the Europa League. If I'm Newcastle, I think AC Milan has comfortably been the worst team in this group. So to be honest, I'd like to see Newcastle go to Europa League. I think they could do real damage down there in the Europa League. Because they match up well against a lot of those teams. So, and to be honest, I don't want to see Newcastle in the round of 16 in the Champions League. It's a waste of space because they won't do anything. PSG's chances in the knockout stages of the Champions League are much higher. And PSG's chances over Milan also are much higher in the knockout stages as well. So that's my take on this group. I do think in the end of the day, so let's see if, PSG will top this group. Dortmund will get second. And Dortmund, again, except for Bayern because they can't draw a German team, if Dortmund's a second place team, that's a tough game for a lot of those first place teams, except I think the only team that's a guaranteed like no chance Dortmund B is a City if they get second. But outside of that, it's fair play. It's fair play to Dortmund. They could beat on their day a lot of those first place teams on their day. Remember, Dortmund, when they have on the games where they have to be on their day in recent history, they will drop the hottest stinker of the year. When the whole world is depending on them to win the Bundesliga title over Bayern last season in May, they dropped the fattest dookie stinker dump in front of the eyes of the world. And I think because of that, a lot of people don't trust Dortmund. That's why I don't trust Dortmund. And that's why Dortmund will get second in this group. PSG will get first. Group G, we're not going to spend too much time in this group. I mean, City, going to get 18 out of 18 points. Leipzig, confirmed second place also. Not much to say. I didn't watch much of Young Boys or Red Star Belgrade in the Champions League, so I won't speak on them. I don't want to say anything. I'm not qualified. I didn't watch them that much. Didn't expect them to do anything in this group anyway. Really didn't expect them to do crap. So Leipzig, another dangerous second place team. That's a dangerous second place team for teams like Barcelona, Arsenal. Is Leipzig really a team you want? I'd honestly try to avoid a Leipzig, especially a team like Barcelona, who has a terrible track record against these Bundesliga teams the previous years. Bayern embarrassing them, and Eintracht Frankfurt embarrassing them. Arsenal, that's a tough game. That's not a guaranteed win for Arsenal against RB Leipzig. PSG, that's not a guaranteed win at this point right now, the way PSG's rolling. Just saying. I'm just saying. And the key thing for City is when I said at the beginning of the video, they don't impress me. I do think that opinion will change when De Bruyne is back in this team. There's a clear deficit of creativity in the City team, and that is because De Bruyne is out. Let's keep it real. Alvarez came on and cool. They went on to score three goals. But Alvarez hasn't been amazing for City the past 5-6 games. And I'm sorry, if you're not making constant impact in the City team, Pep has shown he's going to drop you because they have the ability to drop you. De Bruyne will come back in and take your spot. So Julian Alvarez, get back to making impacts like you did off the bench in the Leipzig game in the second half to secure your spot for when De Bruyne is back. Because he's a great player. I'd hate to see him wasting on the bench. I'd hate to see that. In the final group, honestly, guys, Barcelona, besides their 5-0 win or something it was against Antwerp in the first game, these guys have not been impressive. What are we saying about Xavi? Because this guy, in European competitions, his tactics, they're just never it. I know they have 4 wins. I know, I get it. They're in the next round. Much, that's a great improvement over getting dumped into the Europa League 2 years in a row. But you guys, they haven't been impressive. They just lost Gavi for the rest of the season for a year. They've lost Gavi for a year. Pedri's back in the team. Okay, you have De Jong, Pedri, those guys. Okay, cool. I respect those players. The defense is good. But that attack, the Barcelona attack is so dead. Lewandowski, age is catching up to him. He's out there playing in adult diapers. He's looking very comfortable in those Gucci adult diapers out on the field. The guy, physical limitation in age, father time has caught up to this guy quick. And I don't think he's going to ever revive himself for one season like Benzema did. Because we know Benzema sold his soul to the devil for that season he had with Real Madrid. And I don't think Lewandowski can do that. I don't think he has even the strength to summon the devil in the first place and sell his soul. He's too busy doing TikTok dances and wearing Gucci adult diapers on the field. And outside of Lewandowski, the problem with that is Lewandowski, if you give Lewandowski service still in this day and age, he will still score goals for you. However, There is no service. Lamine Yamal dribbles a lot, but his service isn't the best. But he's 16. You can't hold a 16-year-old to such high expectations. Your Rafinhas, your Ferran Torreses, these guys. Okay, let's set that bar up. Let's set the bar higher. And these guys, they're just not it. They are not Barcelona caliber. So Barcelona is a team where they'll be tough in the knockout stages because of their defense, but it's just really hard to take a team serious when your attack is that dead. Really. So for outside of Barcelona, what's Porto? Let me see. Where is it? Porto plays Shakhtar basically to determine who gets second. Is that in Porto's home? Now the thing is, I would favor Porto to win that game and go second. But because we know Barcelona's going to destroy Antwerp again. They're going to go 15 points. They're going to get first. But my problem with Porto is these guys probably should have beat Barcelona both times in the group stage. But the finishing has not been there. Mehdi Taremi, my Iranian brother, his finishing has not been there this season. Other players in the team like as well, Ivanosin, those guys, their finishing and chance conversion has not been great in the Champions League, and that's killed them in this group because let's be honest, Porto has played the best football in this group. They played the best football in this group, but because they've not taken their chances, they are not sitting first place. And so Porto will be another one. I think Porto will beat Shakhtar at their home. If they don't, I wouldn't be surprised though because they haven't been taking their chances. And Shakhtar has been playing well also. Surprisingly, I thought Shakhtar would do nothing because previously in the Champions League, these guys have been bums. But I do think Porto edged that out in the sixth game at their home. I think they'll edge it out, and Porto will be another second place team, which is a tricky game. So yeah, I mean that's my breakdown of all the groups right now. Yeah, let me just remove this off my screen. It's interesting. My problem with the Champions League at this stage of the season is that once the group stage ends in December, the second week of December, we don't have the round of 16 until February. So guys, from December, especially for the Bundesliga teams, they get a winter break. Okay, cool. We're privileged like that. But for the other teams, through the strenuous winter break that they have to play through, Boxing Day, whatever, for the Premier League fans, Premier League teams, a lot can change. Injuries can happen, form can dip, and you're looking at, the things I said about teams in this video, a lot of things can change. Things can flip 180 because the round of 16 isn't until mid-February. And that's always the interesting thing about the Champions League because, sure, you could look good in the group stage, but then after the group stage ends, there's 2 months until the round of 16 games. And that is a long time. 2 months in a 9-month season is a large portion of the season. A lot happens in 2 months. So that's my breakdown of the groups this week. And my predictions for how the groups will end. I'm going to drop a more detailed Bayern Copenhagen analysis, match ratings, predicted lineup for the game against Union on Saturday this week. I'll do that tomorrow. But yeah, let me know if you made it this far. Let me know what you think. Let me know your opinions. Like that vid. I'm new to YouTube, making YouTube videos. I heard now I understand why creators are always asking for likes. They say, like that vid, because apparently it's good for the algorithm. Your video is more favorable in the YouTube algorithm. More views means more fun on the YouTube channel, means more motivation, right? So give me likes. Give me likes if you made it this far. Because I know I'm going to shamelessly go on my other YouTube account, watch this whole video as I go to sleep right now, like that vid. Do the same for me, please. School is kicking my ass. Make my day with a couple likes. And also subscribe if you're new, if you like this content. Stick around. I'm a good guy. Stick around. Come on. So yeah, it's your boy Hokage Puya signing off. Peace out. I love you all.